the DJ DNA podcast. I'm DJ DNA, and today we got Rolando Molina in the building, part 2.
Deuce, baby. Let's go.
So, we're going to get right back into it. One thing that I also want to talk about is some more of those roles that you've played in, right? We talked about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We talked about Animal Kingdom. We talked about Unstable. We talked about American Me. These are all huge shows in my eyes, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about your voice acting. Because, right? Listen.
Who ate my sopapilla?
That's what I'm
Lávate
talking
las
about.
manos.
This guy, man, he was cooking meth in American Dad. He's got 6 episodes on You got 6 episodes on Family Guy.
I do.
What is how did you get into voice acting?
So that's a great question. I actually had already been acting for quite a while. My agent calls me one day and she's like, "Hey, listen, I have a friend. Her name is Linda Lamontagne. Linda Lamontage. She's a casting director at Warner Brothers Animation Studios, and she called me asking if I had any Latin talent that can do voiceovers." And I was like, "Oh, okay." She goes, "Well, I pitched your name and she wants to audition you." And I'm like, "Okay, let's go." So I've never done a voiceover audition, but apparently you do them over the phone because obviously it's just a voice, right?
I didn't even think about that, but
yeah. So I get the sides, and I'm like, okay, this guy's in the meth lab, and Steve walks in and lávate las manos. Is that are you my potions partner? Lávate las manos. And that's all it was. It's just me saying lávate las manos like 4 or 5 times or 6 times or something, right? And I was like, okay, well, I'll do it. Fine. It wouldn't hurt, So I end up, they gave me a phone. I'm in my car. I call up Linda. "Hey, Linda, is Rolando Molina?" She goes, "Hey, Rolando, thank you so much for calling. So we got Seth MacFarlane here, the director." And I'm like, "You got Seth MacFarlane? Hey, Rolando, how you doing? It's nice to hear from you, man." Whoa, okay. And I got super nervous, bro, because obviously everybody knows who Seth MacFarlane is. He does like 98% of the voices on both American Dad and Family Guy,
obviously.
Right? Yeah, Brian and all of it. So anyway, I do my thing. I just do Lávate las manos lines a couple of times, and the next thing you know, Linda's like, "So what do you think, Seth?" Yeah. I like it. And then we hang up. "Okay, Rolando, thanks, and we'll talk soon. Bye." And my agent calls me 5 minutes later. "You got the job."
That's fire.
But see, the thing was that I thought, it was going to be a one-time thing, So I go into the Fox Animation Studios. I go into the sound booth, put on the headset in front of I got the lines in front of me.
I'm so blind at something like that, right? I don't know what it is, right? I think of Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire. Is it like that?
My dude, it's somewhat like that, but that's it's a little different though. I kind of thought it was going to be the same thing, that I was going to be watching the animation on the screen, and then I was going to voice perform to it. So when I walk in, all it is there's a mic, there's a music stand with the sides on them, and you get headphones and you put it on, and you're in this soundproof booth. And there's a soundproof glass, and you see the what do you call that technician that does the mixing,
engineer?
I guess mix. Yeah, the engineer. There you go, the engineer. See, your stuff. The engineer, and then the director comes in and goes, "Okay, Rolando, I'm gonna be in the booth, and I'll give you directions." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And I'm like in there, and I'm like, "Where's the screen?" And they're like, "What do you mean?" "No, I mean, aren't you guys going to play the animation for me?" And they're like, no, that's not the way it works. So the way we do it here is you
just say your fucking lines.
Yeah, exactly. Just do your damn job. But no, but they said is where the animators are going to animate the character around
Your,
your voice
which is
performance.
dope. Which is
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
prefer that.
yeah,
I feel like it's
exactly.
more, it comes out more organic.
It more organic and a lot easier. So I'm in there and I do it, and then that when I first saw the episode and I saw the guy that how
Just
they
sitting.
animated him, he's shirtless, he's got a mask on, he's brown, and I'm just it was great. So then after that. Next thing I know, Linda, the casting director, calls me directly at home and says, "Hey, Rolando, we got another episode we want you to do." I'm like, really? Yeah, fine. And that turned into, about, I don't know, like 5 or 6 different episodes of American Dad. Um, I played a character, Mex and Tex, where Steve and Roger are watching this detective show on TV called Mex and Tex, and you got this big white blonde haired guy with a cowboy hat called Tex, and then you had this little Mexican man
That's
named Mex that was his partner, and he's the kind of guy that likes to say, "Ay, ay, ay. Who ate my sopapilla?"
with something like
And
that. Do you get any? Do you get like any creativity? Free? Are you able to create?
oh, absolutely, absolutely. That's what I loved about voice acting is that they can actually just give you directions of what they're looking for, or sometimes they'll just go, "Let's see what you got. Let's see
This
what you
is
come
who
up with."
you are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's all you get. So it was great. And then I remember one day Linda calls me and she says, "Hey, Rolando, we got another voiceover for you." Oh, great. Okay, so what number episode of American Dad is this? And she's like, "Actually, it's Family Guy, bro."
Right.
That okay, look, I loved American Dad, but Family Guy was my ish, bro. That's really what the first show that I started watching that Seth MacFarlane did, and I loved it. And I was just like, wait, what? Bro, so I literally have had the majority of my lines on Family Guy with Peter Griffin. I even made Peter Griffin fall in love with me once.
That's what's up. I respect it.
Yeah, bro. So that was a great journey. Unfortunately, Linda was I don't know if she was let go or she left. Family Guy and American Dad, and that relationship ended. So I haven't done any in a while,
Listen,
but
man, no, don't go
but it was
chasing
it was a great run.
waterfalls.
Yeah,
Listen,
no, it was a great run.
I don't know if
I
that's the
really
right. I
enjoyed it.
don't know if that's the right term, but I use a
No, you
TLC
good.
reference. Like,
TLC, yeah, it
don't go
is.
chasing waterfalls,
Waterfalls. That's right.
bro. I'm super proud of you, man.
Thank
I
you, man.
wish we could have been friends, and I wish I would have lived in LA during the
Yeah.
'90s with you. You know what I
That would
mean?
have yeah, that would have been dope, man.
We I just want to go through. I got some notes here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Sons of Anarchy, right?
Hmm.
We talked about that already. I
Hmm.
put this here with this. I don't know why I wrote this name down here. And
Okay.
maybe I got tired of doing my homework.
Okay. All
Do
right.
you know Danny Trejo?
Yes, I do know Danny
Fire.
Trejo.
Fire.
I,
Icon, right?
I've actually worked 2 different jobs with him. One of them was Sons of Anarchy.
Okay. So I wasn't too
And
far off there, right?
no, you weren't too far off at all. And the other one is a film that I did with Larry the Cable Guy called Delta Farce.
I don't think I've seen that one. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, it was a little independent film. Larry the Cable Guy. He had his little run where he was,
Get her done.
got, yeah, get her done, and the environment, and yeah. So this movie called Delta Farce. Basically, it was about these kind of like weird military dudes that somehow accidentally got in the military, and they accidentally get dropped off in Mexico, thinking that they're in a different country, thinking they're in Iraq. And Danny Trejo actually plays the bad guy by the name of Santana. And and it's a comedy, so
Right.
I played the
He is
bartender
the
at
guy.
this
He is
little,
the guy.
yeah.
Danny, it to me, you're the guy too. Danny has played in over 400 movies
Oh yeah, I know. Danny.
and TV
Danny
shows,
is
obviously.
Danny is his career. I mean, that dude. Man, I have a great deal of respect for Danny because
Absolutely.
but he's embraced the characters that he's played, which are
Machete,
all Machete, and yeah, I mean,
fire.
dude. Yeah, well, his brother Robert Rodriguez is his cousin, actually. You know what I'm saying? And so Robert Rodriguez, the director, was his cousin. So Robert put on, Machete and all that.
So good,
So
so good.
but no,
He
but
was
but
even
Danny,
in. He
I
was
love him.
even in Call of Duty.
Really?
He has a
I didn't know
character in
that.
Zombies. I forgot
Oh my
which.
god.
I played the Zombies. I forget which one it was. There's Call of Duty got so many games now,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he was in the one. I think he was in the same one. It was also Freddy Krueger was a character. Danny Trejo
Oh
was a
shoot.
character.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I
He
actually,
definitely made it.
what? I actually did a film, my first horror film, where I did a little cameo. Danny Trejo was in it. It was called Murder in the Woods,
I haven't seen
and
it. I'm trying to
that's I
look.
think that's
Listen,
on
I'm
net.
trying
I
to
think it's
watch
on Netflix.
everything that you
Yeah,
got.
thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, but you should check it out. I think it's on Netflix or Prime Video. And so I got a little cameo in there, and Danny Trejo plays the sheriff in it. And it was the first horror film with all Latino characters.
I want to talk about you playing in two, in my opinion, two of the biggest hood classics.
Okay.
You played in two of the biggest hood classics. One, Menace to Society,
Oh, yeah.
and two, Next Friday. I got it.
Yes, sir.
It is also a hood classic, right?
Absolutely. It's a cult classic, I would say.
Yes,
A hood
yes.
cult classic. So Men Society, yeah, man. I
Very
actually
young. You were
had
young in there too, right? That was.
bro, that was probably like my third or fourth acting gig when I first
Do
started.
you
So we shot
remember
that
it? Do
probably in
you remember?
92. Oh, absolutely. I remember. I actually, um, the funny thing was that one of my co-stars in American Me was in that scene with me, Danny Villarreal, who played Little Puppet in American Me.
Fire.
Yeah, he was there, and so was Clifton Collins. Clifton Collins Jr., he's an amazing actor, a great character actor, and yeah, so it was with us, and we had like a longer scene, but they ended up cutting it in the cutting room floor, so you only get to see us in the beginning. You see me in this horrible outfit that
Yo,
it's
listen, you
just,
was young there. I'm gonna be honest with you, Rolando.
yeah,
I looked at
yeah,
it. So first of all, let me say, my mom is white, my dad is black, right? I grew up
okay,
in the hood. You know what I mean?
okay,
I
yeah,
remember my windows getting shot out.
yeah,
I was in the shits.
yeah.
So when I seen that you played in Menace to Society, I didn't even have to go back and watch it. You want to know why?
Why?
Because if you were Vato number one, right?
It
If you were Vato,
man.
there was only one scene pretty much where there was even Vatos in there.
Yeah.
And it was the
You know what,
scene
and
where they dropped Kane and Sharif off in the alley.
That's right. That's right. And the S's were cool though. They took us to the hospital.
They did. They
Yeah,
did.
yeah, bro.
Thank
So-
you for taking Kane to the hospital, because
Yeah, well, actually, that's like I said, that scene they kind of cut it down and made it different because originally we actually go up to him and about to beat him up, so they cut all that
Got
out
you.
and everything. But that was actually my first like homie thug role that I ever played, and that's where all that started because I started playing a lot of them after that.
I hope I'm
But
taking you down a trip on memory lane, bro.
No, you are though, man. You are like this. It's fun. It's been fun actually going back and remembering these things that I've done over the years. You know, like it just makes me realize how blessed I am, bro, and how fortunate I am to have had the career that I've had so far. And by no means, those of you that are wondering if I'm still acting, yes, I am still
Absolutely.
acting.
I
Even
told
the,
you that
even
this man only took 20 and over 20 years, 1 year off, right?
yeah, pretty much.
Damn near, not
I've
even,
worked
because
this.
you were still working, even though nothing came out, you were still working.
Yeah. Well, I haven't worked in the last couple of years because right after COVID, once COVID just kind of ended, we ended up going into the writer's strike, which lasted
Yes.
almost a year. And then shortly after that, the actor's strike. So that's put a dent in me getting any acting gigs in the last couple of years, which is fine because, like I said, life has been throwing a lot of curveballs at me, and I've been having to deal with family things and some other personal things,
Yeah.
that have been going on in my life as well. Um, so, but by no means, like when I left LA, my agents and I were still in business, and they matter of fact, they sent me a few auditions a couple of weeks ago, so it's starting back up slowly but surely.
Good.
And you're not going to book every single one, and I'm okay with that. I'm just waiting for the next gig to come along, and we're going to keep going. We're still hustling.
So, I got a question for you. I never asked you this
Okay.
question, but in
Okay.
next Friday, right? When they
Mhm.
got Dee Dee and the Day and the white boy in the house, right? At the end of the movie, when they got the white boy and Day in the house, they tied to the chair.
Uh-huh.
Is that you that says suspicious?
No, that's actually my boy Lobo Sebastian, who plays Lil
Little
Joker.
Joker, because it's kind of
Yeah,
hard to see who mouths the
yeah,
words, but
yeah, yeah,
it's a
exactly.
classic
Suspicious
scene
Holmes,
where he was like, "It's making me think a lot."
smart guy.
Yo, I swear that's another hood classic. Next Friday,
Oh,
how'd you end
absolutely.
up getting that role?
That it's a funny story actually. So let's go back in time to 1995. Yeah, 95. I went out for an audition for a film and a TV show and this was on a Friday. And I remember I went in for the audition for the film first, and I absolutely killed it because I had the whole room busting up, bro. So there was one of those moments where I'm like, I got this, right?
Right, you've
And
had a
then
few of
and
those,
so
I'm assuming.
oh, I have. Like I told you, called my agent a couple of times. Hey, yo, expect the call. And then I went and auditioned for the TV show, and the TV show was called Living Single with Queen Latifah.
Yes, yes, with Opie
Yeah,
and Kyle. Yes, yes,
that's
yes,
right.
yes.
That's right. And I had one line, and yeah, I was so confident from the movie audition that I walked in and I go, okay, let me do this line. But my mom, thank you, bye. Left. Sure enough, I got a call that night from my agent. You booked the show. You're going to be working on Monday,
Khadijah.
yeah, yeah. You're going to be working Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Monday, Tuesday rehearsal, Wednesday shooting in front of a live studio audience because that's the way we do the sitcoms back then, right? And then I go to work on Monday, and then I get another call from my agent. A beep. My beeper went off. Remember
Oh,
the
he
beeper?
had a beeper.
I had a beeper. So my beeper goes off. It's my agent. I call him in during my lunch on the public payphone, and they go, "Hey, congratulations! You booked the movie too. All right, that's
You
awesome."
see, you see that
What?
you had
What?
one.
Oh, you got a beeper? Oh my god, that is
I
funny.
got you,
You
bro.
still have one? You
I
still
got
have
you,
it?
bro.
Holy,
Yes.
the one that pulls out. Oh man, that's crazy, bro. I think
Anyway,
I had one somewhere, bro.
I
I
had
think
to
I
show
have
you
one
that.
somewhere
Gotta take you
too.
down
That's
memory lane,
hilarious.
good brother.
That's hilarious, bro.
So
So
you
yeah,
get
so that Monday I get the call from my agent that booked the movie, and I'm like, all right, awesome. And she's like, yeah, you start on Wednesday. I go, well, I'm shooting in
so
front of
you're
a live
still
studio
filming
audience.
Living Single.
Yeah, yeah, right, exactly. So and one thing that my dad has always taught me is to always finish what you start.
Never
And
spread
a man,
yourself too thin.
right? No, and the thing is, like you got to be a man of your word. So I had already signed a contract that morning. And my agent's like, no, I can get you out of it. This movie's going to pay you more. It's 2 weeks worth of work, you know? And I'm like, I already paid it. So I passed on it.
You said you
So
passed on it.
I passed on the movie because I had already signed the contract for, you know, and mind you, Living Single was a Warner Brothers TV show. And we were shooting on the Warner Brothers ranch. So let's fast forward to, you know, a few months later, casting directors at Warner Brothers heard when it went around what I had done, and for a one-line thing. And long story short, because of that, I ended up booking a television series called ER.
Fire. And everything that we're naming is like top of the line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
ER, ER was the first most successful medical drama series on NBC, and I was a recurring character for the first season. I think maybe about 6 or 7 episodes.
Yes.
And the really cool thing about that is two things. One is that they wrote the character for me. They wrote me into the show because of what I had done.
Your catalog.
Yeah, and no, because of the fact that I didn't back out of Living Single.
Oh, got you. So they actually rewarded you kind of in a way.
Exactly. And they named my character Rolando.
Yes.
So I was Rolando. I was playing myself basically on the show. And then the second coolest thing is that I had the last line in the season finale episode of the first season.
That's fire. That's huge.
Okay. And so the movie that I gave up, it was a little independent film called Friday.
The first one. You was going to be in the first Friday. See, I never knew that, dude.
That's a lot of people don't.
Now,
I had booked the character of Hector. Smokey.
Bro, hold on. So first of all, let me just say, so I'm jumping ahead. I told you we're going to be all over the place. I'm talking fast.
No, you're good.
If I ever direct a movie, you're going to be in it. I don't care. We're going to figure it out.
Go.
But I will tell you, your name will be Hector. Yo, did you know? Hold on, I got to scroll.
Yeah.
Did you know you played Hector 8 times?
I didn't know that. But I bet you somebody else got me beat. Who was that? Who? Noel G.
Yes, and he was, and I'm so glad you brought him up because the monkey came out his ass. And Bruce Almighty.
It was supposed to be me. I passed on that.
You didn't want the monkey to come out your ass, bro?
Do you know why?
Why?
Because you didn't call him Noel G, the actor who had the monkey come out. You called him the guy with the monkey out of it. That's why.
No, I mean, yes, that is a hilarious part in that movie, in a great movie. Yeah. But Noel has played in Fast and Furious and you know, so many other dope movies.
Noel is the Hollywood Cholo.
Yes, absolutely. You want to talk about typecasting?
Yeah, exactly. See, and
super
look,
dope actor,
I love Noel, man. I love Noel. I'm happy for his success and all that. But see, the thing is, I could have been him. I could have been the Hollywood Cholo, but I didn't want to be the Hollywood Cholo.
I believe it.
Because Noel, you know, I hate to say, but it's fact. He's a one-trick pony. He plays the same character all the time, and that's good for him. But that's not what I wanted. I wanted to play the spectrum, and that's the reason why a lot of people that watch me in certain shows or in certain films, I change my look up. I try to look different.
Yes, you want to be the beefy cop in the flesh.
That's right.
listen. I did my homework, Rolando.
Yes, you did. Oh my God!
I mean, when I did, when I reached out to you and you agreed to do the podcast, I dove deep. As you know, deeper than I have for any other podcast because it means a lot to me. And
I appreciate that.
One of the things I did is I did everything, bro. I wanted to see what your name was and everything that you played. And everything. You know what I mean? And I'm looking and I'm noticing, I'm like, hold on, wait, this dude has been Hector quite a bit.
Eight
And then
times. That's crazy.
and then scrolling, I see that you played the beefy
The beefy. Oh my God. Yeah, man. That some of the character names that I've played have been very, very interesting. But hey, I don't make the character names, bro. That's the writer. So
No, for sure. But I also want to say you've been in movies with some of the biggest names in the industry, from
absolutely.
Edward James. I'm half white. I'm half white,
Almost,
almost.
almost.
I'm half white, so I'm gonna say it a little
You're
differently.
good. You're
From
good. You're
from
good.
Edward to Zach and Cody. Well, I don't even know their real names, but
Yeah.
to freaking John Travolta, to Denzel Washington. Do people talk
Kathy
about your role
Bates.
in Kathy Bates? Do people talk about your role in like Virtuosity?
No, no, but that's crazy because that's with Denzel Washington and
Very
Russell
early in
Crowe.
his
Yeah,
career.
yeah, very early in his career. Look, that's the thing, like for me, I'm so honored and blessed to have worked with so many big names in Hollywood. One of the biggest names that I worked with, one in my opinion, one the most iconic name that I worked with in Hollywood, and this is the only because people have asked me, do you ever get starstruck with other celebrities that you work with? I go, no, because we're both actors. When we're on set, we're on the same level. They might be making more money than me, or they've been bigger than me, but whatever. But we're there to do the same job. We're both actors.
Y'all
So
got the same
no,
fucking
I don't.
job.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't get starstruck. But with that being said, one time and one time only did I get starstruck, and that's when I worked with the iconic Mr. Bill Shatner, aka Captain Kirk.
Yes, yes.
Man, that
AKA
was
AKA Michael Myers.
well, yeah, it's his face. A lot of people don't even know that the mask of Michael Myers is actually the face of William Shatner.
Yes.
But yeah, man, I that working with him on a show called Boston Legal was one of my other highlights, and
Yes.
I literally got starstruck with him because with him, what happened was, the character that I played, his name was Miguel Obispo, who was a legal immigrant who was arrested for illegal cockfighting, but he only spoke Spanish, but he understood English perfectly well. So you could talk to him in English and he would understand every single word you're saying, but he couldn't speak it. So he would respond to you in Spanish. So anyway, because David E. Kelly only wrote in English, I had to translate all my lines. So I was very busy, memorizing because I had a huge speech in the beginning of the scene. And finally, when the director's like, "All right, Rolando, you ready?" I go, "Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go." He yells, "Action!" And I look up and I see William Shatner and John Larroquette in front of me, and I went blank. And the director yells, "Cut!" Rolando, you okay?
What
I'm like,
happened, man?
yeah, and I'm like, that's William Shatner. And people started
You
busting
probably
up.
shat your pants.
Bro, literally shat. But man, that was the only time really that I got starstruck. But I'm very honored and blessed, man. I'm telling you,
No,
man,
I'm so
I've worked with
happy
so
for
many
the life that you have and the
in my career.
opportunity for
Yeah,
me to be able to talk to you and learn more about these things, and
thank you,
being able
man.
to go back and relive these moments is big for me because it's like I'm watching these things. You've been in stuff that I've watched before I knew you that I had to go back and watch again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's dope. And I'm like, he was in that. Who is someone that you would want to work with that you haven't worked with?
Oh man, that was there's a couple, but the biggest one was one of the most iconic actors that I absolutely have emulated in several of the films that I've done. Marlon Brando.
Wow.
Marlon Brando. Those of you that don't know him, aka the
Godfather,
Godfather.
yes.
That's his biggest role that he's known for. But Marlon Brando was such an amazing actor and so ahead of his time, and in such a different form of acting. He created his own technique.
Yeah.
literally. So one of the biggest compliments that I've actually gotten in my career is that in a couple of things that I've done, people have said that I had a Brando-esque essence to me, and that's because I do use his aura, almost his technique to perform in certain characters that I've done. But another one would definitely be Raul Julia, and Anthony Quinn. Just yeah, man. Those are
So
the actors that have passed. That yeah, I would have loved to have worked with them. River Phoenix.
fire. I,
Yeah.
I I couldn't keep going. I couldn't have you keep going without saying this because I've said this in a past episode. So I know my listener, my viewers are probably gonna be like, so I did I want to have guests on here, but if I don't have a
Mhm.
guest, I'm gonna do solo episodes where I'm live on TikTok. So I was live on
Okay.
TikTok and I filmed the episode, and it was a segment, and it was pretty much me talking about classics that I'd never seen,
Okay.
and Godfather was in there. I know what it
What?
is. I know what it is. I know who Marlon Brando is. It's just one of those movies. I'm sure you have some like that, right? Maybe a movie that people thought you seen that you never seen. Godfather was
Um.
one for me, and I'm sorry.
Really?
Yeah.
No. Hey, man. Listen. But actually, that's it's okay because I think that now that you know
Yes.
that you have to watch it,
Yes.
because then you'll learn to appreciate, especially you being a performer yourself, you'll learn to appreciate not only the performances from all the actors, but also the technique of filmmaking that Francis Ford Coppola used. Was just so, you got to remember, this was shot back in 1970
Yes.
something.
I get it. I
You
get
know,
it. Yes.
and no,
Absolutely.
but listen, but it's such an epic film because it's on such a grand scale, and the production value of it all is just, yeah, I mean, I get chills just thinking about it,
I'm
and it's a
definitely. It's
film that
definitely one on my list to go back and watch. I'm gonna rewind a
yeah,
little bit. Another
yeah.
one of those movies, bro, is Pulp Fiction. I never seen. I know, I know. I'm talking about another episode. You got to go back and watch that episode too. I'm gonna send it to you, but
Yeah.
um,
Okay. I gotta see that episode because I'm gonna give you homework.
no,
I'm
for
gonna
sure,
give
and
you
I
homework.
expect it.
Yeah.
What's it like getting recognized in public? Like, what do people like? What role do people know you most for? And like, do people come up to you in public and say, uh, like, you know what I mean? Like, Baby
Well, I mean,
Joker.
well, definitely Baby Joker. The other day, so I'm out here doing Uber and working with my brother and
You're driving
doing
for
Uber
Uber?
Eats. Yeah, yeah, I've been
Me
doing it for
too.
years.
Me too.
Oh, is that right?
I've
Oh,
been
no
doing it for
way.
over an year, yo, bro. That's my main source of income right
Oh,
now,
bro, listen, I've been a hustler from day one.
bro. If I was
So
to get in your fucking Uber, you got to be kidding me, bro.
Dude, I've had a couple of those happen, but no. So the other day I was doing what's called a shop and pay, where I kind of enjoy those. Just you just go shop and pick up things. I was at Target, and the cashier, she's checking out my stuff, and I'm sitting there, and she's looking at me. She's like, "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to stare, but I like where do I know you from?" I'm like, I get that a lot. And she's like, okay, so I think I do know where I know you from, and she's like, were you next Friday? And I'm like, yeah, I was. And she's, oh my god, oh my, and so it's what it's like for me is that I've learned to embrace that as well, because I'm not the type of dude that likes to, pat myself in the back, or I, at the end of look, I always tell people this: first and foremost, I'm a human being. And what I do for a living is that of an actor. But what I do for a living does not define the human being that I am. Because at the end of the day, I come home and I have the same things. I worry about the same things you guys got to worry about. I got to make sure there's a roof over my head. I got to make sure my bills are paid. I got to make sure there's food. I got to make sure I take care of my family. So on some level, I feel like I'm on the same level as every other person out there, doing their thing, trying to live this life,
And that speaks to
and
how humble you are.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's thanks to my parents. That's how they taught me. My mom always told me, never forget where you come from, never, and I don't. So, I just don't think my career should not define the human being that I am.
I seen a post where you posted recently, and it's two kids doing martial arts, and it says something like my competition in the
At the
audition
audition,
room.
yeah, that what goes
Is
through
it
my.
that competitive for you?
So no, well, to a certain extent, like I'm there. All these other actors are my friends. We're friends, and we got love for each other, and we're happy for each other when each other book gigs. But if you're coming up against me for a role, I'm there. It's kind of like sports. It's kind of like boxing or MMA. You guys thug it out, and then afterwards, good job.
Like, good
Good
luck,
seeing
good
you.
luck.
Good luck. Yeah, exactly. But you got to put in the work to win, right? And that's the name of the
I
game.
love it.
Yeah, man. So I'm competitive in that aspect, but definitely in a respectful way. You know what I'm saying?
I
And
would
in a
imagine.
friendly way. Yeah, but I did that as a joke because that's how I see it in
I
my
love
head. It's
it.
like, oh, you come on, let's go, let's
You
go.
get it. You get, and
Yeah.
I love that, like, you how you have adapted to social media. Back
Yeah, yeah,
when
man.
back when you're making these big movies, there was no internet.
Mm-mm,
There was
mm-mm.
there was no social media. So I love to
There
see what
wasn't.
you're doing online, and I love to see how you're
Thank you,
growing.
man.
What do you like to do for fun?
Oh man. Um, well, definitely love going to the movies.
And you
I
got
miss
that
that
love
because I
from when you
haven't
were a
done it.
kid. We talked about that a little
Yeah,
earlier, right?
absolutely. And I think that's the reason why I love going to watch movies because it's reminiscent of when my mom and my dad used to take me and my little brother to the movies. And but I also love the outdoors. I love the beach and love hiking. And but sometimes, I like to be just a homebody and just stay home and order in and, watch movies, cuddle up with somebody, and
Oh,
stuff like that.
Bachelor.
And yeah, but I am. I've actually been single for 10 years. I was with my ex-boyfriend for 10 years, and I'd rather, what the old saying in Spanish. I don't know if you know it, but it's mejor solo que mal acompañado, that meaning better alone than in bad company.
I know that's
So
right.
yeah, so no, so the bottom line is this: I'm not opposed to another relationship, but
It's gonna have to find you in a good place.
exactly, exactly,
I get it.
exactly.
I definitely get it.
Yeah, man.
What's one of the hardest roles you've ever played? I'm
Ooh,
rapid firing these questions off. I don't know if you
yeah,
could
no,
tell.
no. None of my roles have ever been hard for me. I think that the most challenging role that I've ever done would have to be Crazy Beautiful. Only because I really wanted to get the message across to the point where people would relate to it, and in that particular film, I actually feel like I accomplished what I set out to do when I first said I want to become. The reason why I wanted to become an actor was to move people, and through that performance, I have moved so many people, and so many of these youngsters have come up to me and told me that, hey man, you reminded me of my dad, you reminded me of my older brother, and them trying to put me straight. And so that made me realize that I had moved people through my performance in that film. So that's why I was so focused in making sure that the message was delivered properly, and I succeeded in it. But it was definitely a challenge,
With
man.
that being said, that's like on the top of my list of movies to watch.
Oh, you definitely got to watch
I
it. It's a
haven't
great
seen that
film.
movie. My homegirl put me onto that movie, told me that you played in that movie.
Yeah,
She was like, "Oh shit, he played in that movie." Definitely one that I gotta watch.
definitely should, my boy.
If you weren't acting, what do you think you'd be doing?
Before I became an actor, I was planning on becoming a cop.
Okay. And that's
Yeah,
so funny that your fucking first
yeah,
role was a cop.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
That's pretty dope. So you
Yeah,
kind of did that. You definitely
yeah. Yeah.
tell me a time where someone wanted to cast you for a role you wasn't cool with.
Believe it or not, it was crazy beautiful.
Because it was challenging. It's
No,
not challenging, but
because
maybe that's the wrong word. But
no. The okay. So there's. Let me give you a little backstory to Crazy Beautiful. Crazy Beautiful came to me at a time when, with us actors, we have a saying. It's either famine or it's either feast or famine. Okay. When you're feasting, that means you're booking left and right, back to back, back to back, back to back. When it's famine, it's dead, it's dry. 'Cause, like right now, I'm in a famine, right? But it's the nature of the beast of our business, so I'm okay with it. So I think I was going on a 6 month famine where I hadn't booked anything, and I went to my boy Lobo Sebastian's house, little Joker,
yep.
next Friday, and a little depressed and just talking to him and telling him, man, this sucks. I haven't booked anything, blah blah. He goes, hold on a second, and he comes out with this script. He goes, bro, my agent gave me this script, but I really think you're better for this role. Check it out, see if you want to, tell your agent about it. I read it. It was called At 17. I read the character, and I'm like, oh, I could definitely do this. It reminded me of me and my little brother, and so I basically did something that I'd never done before. I crashed the audition because the director only wanted to see real gangsters with real tattoos, and I was just like, "F that." I'm an actor. I'm gonna do this. So I
Right.
crashed the audition. Long story short, I ended up booking the gig, but production was giving me a shitty deal, bro. And I was just like, I was telling my agent what they're trying to give me because I was one of the stars of the film. I literally, like, in the beginning of the film when the opening credits, I'm like I think either the fourth or fifth name, single credit, because that's what
Right.
stars of films get. And but they wanted to give me a shitty deals. I was just like, so I bit my tongue and I gave it up. I passed on it. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. And it got me so upset, that so basically that night, the director, John Stockwell, called me. He's like, hey, Rolando, I thought you wanted to do it. I go, I do, but not for what they're offering me, man. It's a crappy deal. And it's almost like a slap in the face. And so I stood my ground, man. And then next thing you know, the next day, John, the director's like, you know what? I'll call you back tomorrow. I get a call from my agent the next day, and they're like, hey, they gave in. They're giving us what we want on the contract. And that's how I ended up booking
Good
Crazy
for you.
Beautiful. Yeah, man.
Good for you.
But see, when it's called knowing your self worth, bro. Feel
Absolutely.
me? You know what I'm saying? You know what you're bringing to the table, and if they don't respect you enough to give you what you deserve, then you need to walk.
It's the
And
same.
that's
It's
what I
kind of.
did.
It reminds me of DJing, and I'm selling
Yeah,
myself, and you
yeah.
know, it's kind of the same thing. You know what I mean? People
Hmm.
want to lowball me, and I know what I'm worth. I know what I'm bringing to
Right.
the table, and I know the
Exactly.
experience that you're gonna get if you have me DJ your event. So I definitely get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, man.
What's a role that you passed on that you wish you would have got, or that you wish you didn't pass on?
Um. Well, I didn't pass on it. I was recast. And that was Training Day.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness! Wow,
yeah.
another hood classic.
Yeah. So the story behind that is this. I went in and auditioned for it with Anton Fuqua, and the character. I went dressed and in character into the audition, like literally walked in and I treated casting like they were whatever, and then Antoine Fuqua, the director, was there, audition right in front of him. As soon as I was done, he's like, where you from, bro? Where'd you grow up? I grew up in the San Fernando Valley, dog. And so anyway, so I
Ready to
ended
give
up
him the
booking that.
business if you had to.
Oh, bro. So I ended up booking the role, and I remember I went on set to go talk to the makeup artist because I had this idea of how I wanted the character to look. I was going to get a prosthetic scar from ear to ear, like I had brain surgery, scars and tattoos and all that. Anyway, so the role of a Smiley, which was the lead thug in the scene with Ethan Hawke, was played by Clifton Curtis, but originally it was Isai Morales, me, and Raymond Cruz.
Okay.
So what ended up happening was that Isai Morales ended up booking a series regular on NYPD Blue. So he
Which
dropped
you were
out of the film.
also on.
I did 2 episodes
You
of
did do
NYPD
it.
Blue. I did.
Come on, come
Yeah,
on,
I
come
did.
on. Don't just breeze by
You're good.
that.
You're good. You're good, bro. You're good. But so Isai ended up dropping out of the film, and that's when Antoine Fuqua decided to recast and casted Clifton Curtis to play the role of Isai Morales, and recasted me with Noel G. And Noel G ended up being in that one. Now, the only cool thing about that was that because they had already booked me, there's a clause in the SAG contract which states, it's called the pay or play clause. So they either have to play me, meaning that I got to be in the film, or they got to pay me. But since they recast, they had to pay me.
Is
So I
that
still got
something they
paid.
changed in the strike?
No, no. I mean, they can still recast you if they want, but
Okay.
you still got to get paid. Yeah.
All right, so I'm not going to keep you too much longer. I got one more question and then a segment that I do
Okay.
on every podcast.
All right.
The last two more questions. One
Okay.
question is, what was the funniest story you got on set?
The funniest story.
You got years
Uh,
and years of stories,
I
man.
know, I know. That's why I'm trying to think of the funniest one. You know what? I would say, I mean, it's funny and cool at the same time. When I did Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey, I remember we were in between takes, and I sat down in my chair and I was just kind of reading over a book that I had, and it was a book called Always Running by Luis. Oh God, I forgot his last name. But he was a Latino Chicano writer. Anyways, Jim Carrey sat down next to me, and he kind of peeked over. He's like, "Hey, what are you reading there?" And I told him, "Oh, it's a book called Always Running." And I told him what it was about. You know, it was a true life story of the it's kind of autobiography of the writer, growing up in the hood in L.A. and all that. And he found it very interesting. He was like, "Did you grow up in the hood?" And I go, "Actually, kind of did, yeah." And and we started talking, and all of a sudden, one of the ads comes over and says, "Hey, Jim, we're ready for you on set." And Jim's like, "Give me a second." And then the ad's like, "Well, director said that he needs you right now." And he looked over at him. He's like, "I'm having a conversation. You're being rude. Tell the director I'll be there in a second." And then he turned to me and he goes, Finish your story." I
Fire.
thought that was one of the coolest and most classy things, and that's why with Jim Carrey, bro, one of the most classy actors I've ever worked with.
So I kind of have a story like that. So
Okay.
one of my favorite comedians on TikTok, or is Jason Banks.
Oh yeah, Jason Bang. Yeah, yeah, he's
So I
funny.
follow Jason Banks. He follows me, and he's coming to Connecticut, and I sent him a message. He was already in my live. I'm just like, you know what? Hey, yo, I'm gonna come to your show. He's like, all right, bet. I'll see you there. Whatever, right?
Mm.
So my wife and I, we had two friends with us. We go to the show, and he's at the Funny Bone. So afterwards, they come out and they sign T-shirts and autographs
Yeah, yeah,
after the
yeah.
show, and then they get ready for the next show. So my wife and I are at the bar, and I'm ordering a drink. All of a sudden, I feel a tap on my shoulder, and it's Jason Banks. He literally stopped signing autographs, came over to say thank you for coming to the show,
Oh,
and
that's
gave
cool.
me some love before the show actually started, and then afterwards. I stayed in line to get my autographs and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
and
yeah.
he told me what content of mine was his favorite, which was really dope for me.
That's dope, bro. That's
Yeah.
dope. That's what's up, man.
So I got a segment that I do, and it's called "One Gotta Go." I give
Wait,
you.
you said you had one more question. You
It's
had
gonna
two
be the
questions.
last question.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I got a segment.
I'm making
I
sure.
got you. I got you.
Okay.
I got a segment that's called "One Gotta Go." I give you two options, and you got to tell me which one gotta go.
Okay.
If you got any stories behind it, it's okay. If you tell me, it's all good.
All right.
TVs or movies? Which one's gotta go?
TV.
Okay. Okay. Text or call?
Call.
You're gonna get rid of call?
No. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get rid of text. Because I'm a caller.
Me too.
caller.
Me too.
Yeah.
They're gonna get hard. These are gonna be hard, okay?
Okay.
It's whatever criteria that you want to use.
All right.
I'm giving you a disclaimer on that one because it is next one. Family Guy or American Dad?
American Dad.
I respect it. Got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Action or comedy?
Action.
You about that comedy life.
Yep.
This is gonna be
I big laughter. Laughter brings joy.
Listen, I wanted to do ones that are hard, Rolando. I think this is probably gonna be the hardest one of these questions.
Okay.
American Me or Next Friday? It's okay.
Next Friday.
It's okay.
Next
I know.
Friday.
Yeah,
Next
absolutely.
Friday.
You got to go
Next
with
Friday.
what got you to Next Friday.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for American Me, you wouldn't even have been on Next Friday.
Exactly.
I get it.
Yeah.
TikTok or IG?
IG.
Got to get rid of IG. Yo, we met because of TikTok. Yeah, that's goddamn right.
They're because I've met so many people on TikTok.
Training Day or The Dark Knight?
Training Day.
You heard what I gave you, though.
Training Day.
I respect it.
You know why?
Why?
Because they recasted me, bro.
I know. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, that's right. I wanted to put two movies where the main character engulfed the character so much.
Yeah.
And
I get it.
I think Training Day, and I think it's equal. We're gonna go in a little bit of music right here.
Okay.
Jodeci or Boys to Men?
Ooh, Jodeci. Because Boys to Men was my shit back in the day.
Okay,
bro.
all right.
Yeah,
MJ, Michael Jackson, or Prince?
Prince.
I get it. I'm not mad at you.
Because I actually got Michael Jackson's autograph, man. He actually gave me an autograph.
In person?
At Universal Studios.
That's fire.
I have his autograph in the back because before I became a security guard, I was working at Universal Studios as a merchandise sales clerk. That was my first job when I was 16. Michael Jackson took the studio tour, and he was actually on the tram. And I walked up to him, and he signed the back of my paycheck stub, which I still have.
That's fire. You're gonna have to show me that. Cypress Hill or House of Pain?
Oh, House of Pain.
Okay, good. That's the segment. One gotta go.
Okay.
I have one more question, but I do want to say something before I ask you this question, and
What's that?
Big shout out to Cholo Life.
Cholo Life?
Yes, Cholo Life. I see you.
You mean Cholo Fit? You mean
Cholo Fit? Cholo Fit. I'm so
Okay,
sorry.
Yeah, that's
Cholo
the
Fit.
homie.
I am so sorry.
No, yeah, you're good.
I looked down and just glanced, but big shout out to Cholo Fit. I see you did. He had some merch and you posted some stuff. I need one of them autographs, good brother.
Okay.
I'll send you something you can sign off. I need the autograph. I just snuck that in. I just thought about that, but
yeah, man. You got it, bro. You got it. You talking about the shirts?
Yes.
My
And
shirts,
I know you got your merch and stuff like that. Big shout out to you.
Or you want Cholo Fit shirt?
No. I'm talking about because he got some merch. He got one of the shirts. He got your shirt signed or whatever.
I signed a next Friday
poster. I seen that. Yes,
I got you.
Listen, but I need some merch or whatever signed. My last question: What's next for you? Like, what can we expect from Rolando Molina after the career that you have planted in front of us?
The next step for me right now, my main focus is my family. Um, and I want to make sure that I can be there for them and do everything that I can to knock these curveballs out of the park with that home run hit, like Freddie Freeman did for the Dodgers. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing to me, family first, always. And then after that, back on the grind and the big screen and the small
I
screen.
cannot wait, good brother. Thank you so
Yes, sir.
much for taking this
Yes, sir.
opportunity to hang out with me. And every time I reach out, you're always responsive and show me
Absolutely, bro.
love. Thank you so much for decades of classics, good brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. But before we go, can I leave your audience with just one thing?
Absolutely, man. This is your
Uh, and
platform.
and and I do this. I do this in all the podcasts that I do. So and I'm going to speak directly into the camera. Those of you that are out there that have a dream, you have a passion for something. My advice to you is to take a leap of faith. Believe in yourself. Take that shot. Don't worry about what other people say. Don't worry about, the naysayers, the ones that say you can't do it. You can't do it. You don't have what it takes. Don't believe it. Take a leap of faith, and if you accomplish your goal and you accomplish your dream, then the naysayers, they're irrelevant. But even if you don't make it, even if you don't accomplish it, you gave it a shot. And the best thing about you giving it a shot is that you will not live the rest of your life wondering, what if? The biggest regret in life is to live your life wondering, what if? What if I had given it a shot? What if I had tried? Where would I be now? You're going to be living like that the rest of your life. And you don't want to live like that. You don't want to live your life wondering, what if? So take it from me, someone who took a leap of faith when everybody said, you're not good looking enough. You're not, you're too fat. You're Latin. You're not going to make it in this business. Well, guess what? I celebrated my 33rd year as an actor, August 6th, 2024. If I can do it, so can you. Good luck to everybody out there.
That's it right there, man. I literally, that warms my heart to hear you say that, because I live by a closed mouth does not get fed.
Amen.
That's literally what I
Yes,
took
sir.
from what you just said. Take those risks. The better you is on the other side of fear.
That's right. That's right. I
Listen,
love
man,
that.
we're friends for a reason. And
Yes, sir.
like I said, I appreciate you being here. Let people know where they can follow you at.
Well, I mean, like I said, Instagram has to go, but I do have one. And you can find me there at Real Rolando Molina. And TikTok, hey, TikTok is simple. Rolando Molina 91. That's it. That's all you got to do. Put it in there. You'll find me. Those are the two socials. Those are the only ones that I mess with.
Rolando, thank you so much for being such a good friend and
Thank you, brother.
doing this podcast with me. In the very
My pleasure.
beginning, there's so much that I left out. I did my
Now,
homework.
hey, listen, we can come back another time. Another time we
Yes.
can do this. It's all good. I'm down.
Yes. Well, when you got projects coming out, this is your platform. If there's anything you want to get out, you're more than welcome to come here. So thank you again.
I appreciate that, brother. Thank you, man.
This was the don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. This is the
All right.
DJ DNA podcast. I'm DJ DNA. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Peace.